Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and Restless preview. Troubling Teriah twist may lead to an eyebrow-raising indiscretion. Young and Restless. Mariah returned home from a business trip with a haunting secret that could rip her marriage apart, and the twist ahead may lead to even more trouble. Weeks ago, Mariah came back from a work trip for Cassidy first and spilled the beans to Sharon that she'd done something horrible. So awful, in fact, that she and Sharon both fear her marriage. Tessa might not survive it. But as we all waited with bated breath for the story to break wide open, it disappeared from our screens completely. Perhaps the writers were waiting for Pride Month to find Mariah and Tessa, brush them off, and continue their story, because we can report that they're back at the end of this week. That said, the news is probably not good for Teriah fans, judging from the sneak peek pics. It's clear that Mariah hasn't moved on and is still stewing as she paces Sharon's place looking pained and pensive, presumably tortured by the guilt of whatever it is she's done. Might she be considering a confession? Thankfully, she gets some advice from her mother, though it looks as though Sharon might be taking a hard line and urging Mariah to fess up and face whatever it is she's hiding from her wife so they can work through it together. Mariah finds Tessa in the park, guitar in hand, and just to make any confession a million times harder, rubbing it in so hard what she has to lose. Her wife sings her a love song, or so it appears. Will Mariah be able to go through with a confession that could end such a beautiful union? It certainly looks like she's telling Tessa something unexpected and somewhat appalling. Who will Tessa turn to if she's just found out that Mariah cheated on her whilst away on business? Or did something equally terrible? Well, we won't have to look too far. Daniel's right there in the park. And as is wont to happen on soaps, as with Daniel and Lily, it's likely that what begins as comfort could turn to something more between the two friends. Why would this particular hookup be so eyebrow-raising when this sort of thing happens all the time on soap operas? In a word, because the writers had Tessa state that she is gay. Years ago, she didn't say she was bisexual. So even though she's had a husband and dated Mariah's brother Noah, this would be a troubling twist. On top of, well, a troubling twist. Whatever happens, we hope Teriah will weather the storm in the end. From the moment Mariah and Tessa locked eyes, Teriah was born not just as a ship name, but as a promise, a beacon, a rare depiction of long-term same-sex romance in the drama-heavy world of Genoa City. Fans rejoiced as the couple weathered storm after storm, from Noah's lingering feelings to Devon's surrogacy heartbreaks. Yet just when it seemed like their love had solidified into something unshakable, the Young and the Restless appears ready to toss a match into the emotional powder keg. And we're not just talking about the standard soap opera turbulence. Oh no. This is something deeper. Something that threatens to detonate not only the trust Mariah and Tessa have painstakingly built, but also challenge the very foundation of the family they've begun to construct with baby Aria. The crack beneath the surface. What first appeared as nothing more than exhaustion and stress following Aria's hearing loss diagnosis now looks to be the emotional tremor before a relational earthquake. In recent scenes, we've seen Mariah's confident veneer chip away as she navigates not only the unexpected realities of parenthood, but also her quietly growing fear that she's not enough. She wants to be the rock for her family, but rocks crack under pressure. Tessa, meanwhile, has returned to the world of music with cautious optimism and a quiet guilt. The irony of being pulled away from home for rehearsals and recording sessions just when her daughter might need her most isn't lost on her. But what's even more telling, her seeming inability to share those feelings with Mariah, a dangerous third point. Enter the wild card. The confidant, the catalyst. Viewers quickly picked up on the subtle shift when Tessa struck up a friendship with tour manager Danny. What started as casual check-ins has blossomed into late-night texts and emotionally loaded eye contact. The kind that lingers. The kind that soaps use to scream uh-oh without saying a word. To be clear, Tessa hasn't crossed a line yet. But it's the yet that's got fans biting their nails. History repeats itself. Differently. This time, long-time viewers will remember how Teriah was once the interloper in another relationship. Her feelings for Tessa took root when Tessa was still with Noah. Back then, the betrayal sparked outrage, but also undeniable chemistry. Teriah was raw, vulnerable, and genuine. Now the tables may be turning. The irony? If Tessa does make a mistake, she'll be doing so not with malicious intent, but out of a deep, aching loneliness. That same vulnerability that drew her to Teriah, in the first place, could now make her susceptible to someone who simply listens, where this could lead. Let's be real. Teriah has become one of the most celebrated couples in daytime television. But no couple, no matter how sacred to the fandom, is safe from the genre's need for drama, and indiscretion wouldn't necessarily mean the end. If handled with nuance, it could open a door to deeper conversations about trust, forgiveness, and the complexity of long-term commitment. And what better couple to explore those themes than two women who have already defied so many odds? But that's a big if. The fan divide naturally. Social media has erupted. Hashtags like Bras Protect Teriah and Let Them Be Happy trend side by side with Tessa knowing Teriah deserves better. Some fans feel betrayed. Others are intrigued. Some are issuing pleas to the writers, begging them not to ruin the one pure love story left in Genoa City. Still others are eager for the drama, pointing out that a relationship without conflict isn't one that truly tests its mettle. One popular Reddit theory? That Teriah herself might end up confiding in an old flame, possibly Devon or even Jordan, creating a parallel temptation storyline. Behind the scenes, Buzz Cameron Grimes, Teriah, and Kate Fairbanks, Tessa, have both remained tight-lipped, though a recent interview saw Fairbanks teasing major emotional upheaval for her character. Tessa has always struggled with guilt, with the feeling that she's not good enough, Fairbanks noted. And sometimes when people feel that way, they self-sabotage. Is that a clue? Or just good acting? Sources close to the show suggest that while the writers love Teriah as much as the fans do, they also see the couple as an opportunity to tell more layered, real stories, especially now that the two are navigating parenting and careers under a very public spotlight. Claire's curveball adding fuel to the fire, Claire Grace's slow integration into the broader Newman circle has created ripple effects across town. Her growing closeness to Teriah, especially around baby Aria, has been the subject of fan speculation. Is Claire a future friend or a subtle wedge? With her calm demeanor, painful past, and surprising empathy, Claire could very well be the person Teriah leans on when things get tough. And if that happens, might Tessa misconstrue it as something more? We've seen this dance before. The bigger picture. Let's zoom out. At its core, this storyline is less about cheating and more about choices. About the daily, mundane, hard choices couples make when love isn't easy. It's about showing up even when you're tired, listening even when you're scared, and staying even when it would be easier to run. It's about asking, what does it mean to commit when life throws everything at you? For Teriah and Tessa, that question is about to become heartbreakingly real. Prediction. The calm before the storm. In the next few weeks, we're likely to see Teriah confront Tessa about her increasing absences, Tessa struggling to articulate her feelings without hurting Teriah. A moment of vulnerability between Tessa and Danny that may or may not lead to a kiss. Teriah finding an unexpected ally in Claire. A final, explosive confrontation that leaves both women in tears and viewers on edge. And perhaps in the end, a road back to each other. But that road will not be smooth. Closing thoughts, keep the faith, or brace for impact. Whether you're a die-hard Teriah supporter or just here for the drama, one thing is certain. The young and the restless isn't afraid to shake things up. And while the idea of an indiscretion might sting, it also offers an opportunity to tell a story not about perfection, but about resilience. Stay tuned, and maybe keep the tissues handy.